Alright, welcome to our 12-month review of our Snowy River Caravan. We picked this up in April last year. We've done a couple of trips with it, and now we're travelling full time with the van. So I feel like we can give you a realistic overview of what it's like to own a Snowy River. Yeah? Caravan. Alright, so this is the SRC 22F double bunk model. I wrote down a few little plot points here so I don't miss anything. They're full plot points, aren't they? Who knows? A couple of dot points and... Alright, so let's go through first pickup. When we picked the van up, the handover and everything, we dealt with green. You'll have to excuse the zoo sounds in the background. But yeah, we picked it up from Green RV, Tanamera, and the overall ordering of the Snowy and the delivery was fine. Hey, yeah. We had a good time. They were very thorough with the handover. We got a little package with some hoses, like drainage hoses and all that sort of stuff with it. It was a very basic kit, but it was a bonus. It was an extra for us.
Yeah, we have heard of people who didn't get anything at all.
Yep.
And we got that, and we got like some towels, a little umbrella, a little like...
Just a few little things to make you feel
Snowy
like
River.
you're part of the family, hey?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, that was good. Now, I will add into that because it sort of fits into the timeline. We ordered a mocha. We ordered a mocha caravan. When we got there, we picked up the silver one. So, we were happy that we ended up with the silver one overall. But it was a bit of a shock.
We didn't actually choose the colour. We didn't choose any colours in the van. We didn't pick it. He said, this is what's coming. Do you want it? We said yes. And they said it was going to be a mocha van. And at the time we thought, oh, that's really cool because I really like that colour. Mm-hmm. And we thought it would match well with the Ranger that we had at the time and everything. And then when we get there, they show us this and I'm like, that's not ours.
Yeah. He was very surprised too.
And he was just like... Oh god!
Yeah,
he probably thought, like, we're gonna, someone's gonna hit the fan. Or, But we just went with it and we're like, it is what it is.
Yeah, pleasant surprise anyway.
Because after we picked it up and everything, we went, oh, I actually really like this colour.
Yeah, the colour's awesome. So, alright, let's get on to the first service and the first time dealing with after sales, I guess. Alright, first service came up, we did 1,000 kilometres with it. I think we just went up to like...
We went to Harvey Bay for a couple of nights in a caravan park.
A couple of short trips. Rack up some Ks. Alright, so we had a leak in the pipe, which I'll show you. I'll do a little overview as I'm going around. So this pipe it didn't have these elbows in it. It had a little... a kink in the pipe and it was leaking out of there, so we took it back and said that we need the kink taken out and we need some elbows put in, which they knew about that. And then I also said that the cavity door on the ensuite had fallen off, the track had pulled out of the ceiling, so that needed fixed as well. It was dragging on the vinyl floor and everything, so they knew about that. Now we left the van with them for 2 or 3 days, I think it was.
Yep.
And when we went to pick the van up after the service was done, leaky pipes in the same spot, no elbows put in, and the door was still sitting on the floor. So not sure what the go is there, but anyway, they were all like, oh, we didn't realise, whatever. So they said, can you come back tomorrow and pick it up because we can't obviously fix this today. So we left it there for another day, had to make a second trip down there to pick the van up. The plumbing was fixed and the door was fixed, temporarily. Between the drive from there home, which is all of 30 minutes, the door pulled out of the ceiling again and it was back on the floor. So I made the bold choice of pull the door out, throw it in the trash, and put a curtain up. Upon doing that, realised that they'd put some long screws basically through the track to fix it to the ceiling again. They gooped it full of silicone and waxed some big ass screws up through the ceiling, through the roof of the van to the outside world in at least 2 spots. So I've since fixed those holes and our van doesn't leak water anymore, which is good. So yeah, as far as that whole situation, it was just a show and I was not a big fan of it. I can't say that. Alright, it was just a hullabaloo. Alright, yeah, it put a very sour taste in my mouth. I did not want to deal with them ever again. I figured whatever goes wrong in the van, I will just fix. I don't have to deal with any buff heads at the service centres. So that's on me. I choose not to deal with them anymore at all.
And we prefer it without the door now.
We actually do prefer it without the door.
With the curtain, it's a lot better.
Yep. Let's talk about damage that's happened to the van since we've owned it. So apart from the door and the plumbing, our cupboard door under the sink fell off, and that was not for no reason. We were going down a corrugated road. It was a pretty rough road, and the door hinges are very... Sorry. The door hinges on the cupboards and the cabinetry are very domestic. I don't feel like they should even be in a caravan. They're exactly what you would find in a kitchen at home, which obviously doesn't get thrown around, doesn't get dragged down the highway at 100 kilometers an hour, doesn't have big gusts of wind or corrugations under it. So yeah, I feel like the cabinetry hardware could be a lot better for a caravan. Alright, door handles are fine. They do a really good job. We've only ever had a couple pop open during travel, so they're really good. I like the door handle design. Same thing with the fridge door. When that broke off, was purely us not latching it properly. So that's not really put back on Snowy, that's a user error. Window surrounds. So this is something that is produced and manufactured by Snowy. And it's basically our blinds, our blackout blind and our fly screen. Fixing from the inside, they basically just Tex screw like a metal self-tapper screw into the fiberglass to hold the surround on, and all that does is whenever you have any vibrations through the van, they shake and it pops the screws out, and that you can never ever get them back in again. So we've gone through and did like nut certs on the windows and put bolts in there. So if you ever have your window surrounds come off, it's a pretty easy fix. Yeah, either nut certs or fill it full of silicone or something, just to give the screw something to bite onto, because generally the hole that the self-tapper drills out is only just big enough for the thread. So as soon as you pull that thread out, you can basically never use that same hole again for the same size screw. So that's a good fix for when your inside screens come loose and they rip out the walls, so you can fix them that way. Window surrounds, hatch and access surrounds broke. Our front tunnel boot and our rear tunnel boot under the bunk bed, the surround on them is like one piece plastic. I'll try and put, I don't even know if I have any footage of the old doors, but I'll show you, actually I'll show you this real quickly. Basically, this surround here, it cracks. It's basically from heat and cold expansions and shrinkage. Alright, so the plastic heats and it actually does expand. We get it in the windows a little bit, and it's just enough that I think the surrounds don't really hold up to that sort of pressure, and they just crack. And then obviously you get water ingest, you have to patch them up with like dodgy Sikaflex and stuff like that. So the hatches broke in those two spots, and I actually replaced them with the, I think it's coast or coastal or coast to coast doors They do a really nice hatch, and it's a lot better quality than the Snowy one. So maybe if Snowy's listening, they're not that much more expensive. We actually did get a bit of credit towards our doors. They covered about half the cost of what the coast to coast ones were. And yeah, that was dealing with the after sales, the warranty team at Regency. They basically said, well, what I said was, I'm not going to replace them with the same hatch. I'm going to replace them with a different hatch. And then they came to the party and said, well, we'll cover the cost of our doors, we'll refund you that much. So, you know, they sort of met me halfway, which is fine. I was happy to take the hit on the doors to get better ones put in anyway, which I did. They're all, everything, most of the stuff we talk about on the video is on our channel somewhere, probably under like the Snowy 22 like playlist or whatever it is. So any of this stuff you can usually go through and find what we've done and had troubles with in the past. So yeah, hatches broke, and we've had a lot of trouble with, I'll just grab the camera again, I was trying not to do that, stuff like this. Okay, and I'll do a quick walk around. So that one there does move, and it's come off the van, and it's too big of a gap to Sikaflex up. And then this side, it's a similar thing, it all moves, and it's got a big crack here. So that's how much the heat shrinks and expands this plastic, enough for it to put that size crack in it. So it's not small. But yeah, and while I've got you here, these are the new doors we put in. They're really good. They're like a vacuum seal. They're a bloody good door. And I know, I'm not going to get into it too much. I know a lot of people have had cracks in this too, but we haven't, so that's not going to be part of our list, I guess. Alright, I'll put you back up here, and we'll go through, I think we'll do things that we've changed on the van. So we've put DO35 hitch on, which took a lot of the slack out in the ball hitch. We found that speed bumps and sort of anything where the van would articulate different to the car, there was this sort of like couple mil of play, and you can feel the clunk, clunk, clunk. Takes all that out. The DO35's really good. It's a full articulating hitch. It does, you know, some amazing stuff. So we fully stand by the hitch change idea. It's made the van tow really well, and the electronic jack is like a lifesaver. I love the electronic jack. We also put a telescopic table leg inside, because the standard Snowy one is basically just a pole, and it does spin, but it doesn't like move around, where the telescopic one, you can push it right into the corner and give yourself some space to cook and everything. But it's not, you know, if it's in your way, you can push it out of the way, but also bring it right out so you can all sit around the table. It's an awesome addition to one of these type of vans, where you're trying to get as much space as you can where you can. So the table leg. We also removed the top bunk, as we only have one child. So removing the top bunk allowed Sadie to have full head space. Like there's nothing in between her bed and the roof now, so she can stand up, walk around, jump on the bed, everything that kids do, she's got plenty of room for that now. And we managed to tuck a little toy box in the top left corner. Just thinking about it, I don't think we've had anything else break or get damaged. Oh, when we did the corrugated road, this is going back to when our cupboard door fell off. Microwave fell out, the stove came loose, the tapware like vibrated loose. Yeah, there was just a few things got rattled loose, but they were all fairly easy to fix. But saying that, they used the screws that they used to hold in the stove and the microwave are way too small, so rip them out and chuck some bigger screws in. The ones we have in the stove now are huge, like they're about 30-40 mil long and a big like 8 gauge screw, so it's not going to go anywhere ever. Like even if we really want to get that out, it's a bit of a mission. So, and the microwave we put in, I think they were about 25 mil, same thing, 8 gauge screw, so that's not going to come out ever again. And yeah, I think that's about it for the bad points, the sales, like after sales stuff that we've had to deal with. And I will say though, the warranty team seemed pretty good to deal with. Like when our hatches broke and stuff, it wasn't the dealership we weren't dealing with, it was just the warranty team, so they're very understanding and they had things sorted out pretty quick for us. So yeah, if you're dealing with the warranty team, I feel like you'll be fine. It might just take a little bit of time, but yeah, our dealer, I'm never ever going back there. Things we've done to the van as well, the big lithium off-grid setup, which is in the playlist as well. So basically 480 watt solar panels on the roof, 400 amp hours of lithium, a big inverter, big chargers, basically everything you need to live off-grid. So the van acts as if it is plugged into a caravan park now. If we turn the inverter on, all the switches are live, all the 240s on, we can run the Starlink, charge phones, we can run the fridge off it if we have to. Aircon, that can go off-grid as well. Although we haven't tried it for like a long period of time. I think we did about 4 hours or something one afternoon with it and it worked pretty well. But yeah, the big lithium off-grid, I think it's worth every cent that we've spent on it. But that's because we use it, so we sort of need it. Suspension. After we did that trip, which was in our Uluru episodes, when we had the damage and stuff, I basically decided then and there that the what was it? The torsion suspension, the standard stuff, had to go in the skip. I just wasn't confident in the setup, and yeah, I just needed something that's off-road orientated to get us to places like this. It's just peace of mind. It's probably a little bit overkill. A lot of people have said that they've had no troubles with the torsion stuff, but hey, our off-road setup is amazing. The van handles so well, and you can even see it behind the car. It doesn't seem to take the shock of the corrugations or the rough roads anymore. It just absorbs everything, and it's amazing, mate. Like, hands down, probably my favorite thing we've done to the van. And that's basically things to stop things like rattling loose, getting extra damage that we don't need, and just help the van last a lot longer than it probably would have without the suspension being done. So it basically consists of 8 shocks and 4 springs. They did a GVM upgrade as well to give us an extra 300 kilos. It gave us an extra 100 millimeters of height. 16-inch wheels, because the 15-inch tires, for those who own a Snowy already, know that the 15-inch tires are like pretty crap and they're very hard to find. So this is a very generic, very common size now. We've got 245 70 16 on there, and you can basically get them any town, anytime, anywhere. So that was a big thing for us. Yeah, so we went to 16-inch wheels and the bigger tires, and yeah, it's a bloody awesome setup now. I love everything about it. Next we'll go to wheels, tires, suspension, off-grid. Alright, hey Kat, do you want to join me for a minute? Alright, I'm going to do my overall thoughts on the van. You know, whether I feel like it was a mistake or whether it was a good thing. I'm going to do my opinion, and then I'm going to get Kat's opinion on the van. So, since we've done all the mods and everything, and the van's finished, and we're travelling full time, I really like the van. I think it just fits us very well, and it's comfortable. And people have to realise this is a budget brand. Like, it's not $170,000 van, it's a $70,000 van. So you can't expect all the bells and whistles. But having put a lot of those bells and whistles on herself, very happy. I really love the van. Hopefully we get to keep it for a long time and things sort of don't change for us and we can just keep using it. But I feel like it's grown on me.
Yeah, you had a very love-hate.
Oh yeah, at the start it was very love-hate.
Even at the start of this trip.
Yeah.
But since we've put it to the test now with everything that you've done to it, I'm really happy with it as well.
Yeah.
You used to get nervous, like, before you open the door, before you go inside, like, oh, what's broken, like, what's happened.
Yeah.
And now it's just...
You just rock up and you know
everything stays where
fine.
it is.
Yeah.
And, yeah, I'm really happy with it.
Sadie's happy with it too. Alright, babe. So, yeah, overall, we are very happy with our Snowy River. If you go right back to the start, like Kat was saying, right back to the start when we started filming our travels and that, it was a very, like, love-hate between me and the van. But most of that, in all honesty, is to do with the dealer, dealing with that stuff. And I sort of thought for a while there, we've bought a budget brand and we've sort of been ripped off a little bit. But the rest, like, apart from those things that I've listed in the video, the rest of the van has held up unbelievably. It's amazing. Like, we love everything about it. We have put our big mattress from home in there, so it's super comfortable now. And what was that other thing I was thinking? There was something. Oh, it doesn't matter. Probably something little. Oh yeah, the caravan. We put the caravan in there to stop all the dust getting in, or stop as much dust getting in. But that's only a very new addition as well, also in a playlist. But yeah, everything that we spoke about is in the Snowy River Caravans playlist along with this video. So it's a nice, easy way to do your research or see any videos we've made in the past about the van, specifically related to the van. But yeah, I think we'll probably leave it at that for now. Maybe do another review in a year's time. But I don't think too much is going to change, to be honest. It's, yeah, a few people have asked us on the road whether we like it or not, and I would say go for it. Maybe just expect a few little hiccups, but nothing dramatic. And yeah, you should have yourselves a pretty good van, hopefully anyway. But I'll leave it there, I'll wrap it up. If you enjoyed the episode, hit the like button, and if you want to support the channel and keep up to date with everything, subscribe. And we'll see you out there.